What's going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Christian Hanna Horror here today. And guys, today we're going to look at my Mezco Mega Scale figure collection. I want to document this day because as we just saw on the new Toy Fair show that Mezco has some great new ones coming out. So I thought today would be a nice day to document where my collection for these are, because I do love these series. It's my favorite series of figures out right now. We've got the Leatherface coming out this fall, which will definitely be a must-buy for me, as well as the Child's Play 2 Chucky with the needle in the arm, as seen in the famous scene where Chucky is attacking Andy and his foster sister in the Child's Play factory with Kyle. A great scene in the movie. So we'll take a look at each of these individually and see how they look, which ones I think are, you know, the better of the bunch. And start off with my personal favorite horror icon in the world, Freddy Krueger. Let's have a look at him. Okay guys, so here's Freddy Krueger. His hat is removable and it is of this little cloth material right here. Not bad at all. He features more or less a sequel style sweater, because I think in the original the sleeves were just a straight red. The sculpting on the head is actually, you know, I think it's pretty good. I actually like it a lot. If I had to call it anything, he has more of like a part 4 look. His eyes are green. There's the claw right there, not bad. A little bit of a bow-legged stance to him. Some pretty good detail in the shoes. I really can't complain. Let's look at the back of him. Got a zipper up the back of his pants. He does have a port right here in the back. Well, excuse me. I was going to show that last. He has a little port in his back for the batteries. His head swivels and turns. Arms move up and out, and the legs as well. You can bend the legs basically as far down as you want. But because I've got him standing right here, we'll leave him. So let's listen to some of his phrases. So there's all of his phrases. It does sound like they're actually using clips from movies. I believe they are. The reason I mention that is because we'll see later in here that some of these don't exactly sound like the characters they portray. So out of all of the ones I own, Freddy is my favorite. I'm a little partial because he's my favorite horror icon though. So having the Mega Scale Freddy Krueger was a big deal for me, and I'm very glad to have him. Let's look at Billy the Puppet next. Okay guys, so here's the latest one released from Mezco. This is the Billy the Puppet, based off of the Saw franchise. And right off the bat, I want to say that, you know, I really think that the clothing looks good on these figures. They did a really good job in my opinion. Again, you got full motion in the arms, a lot of articulation. You can do whatever you want. Head can swivel, turn his head in different ways. You can kind of angle it and it holds form pretty good. Let's get a look at that face sculpt. I actually think they did a really good job on that. Clothes look pretty good, and of course we've got to show these shoes, which I believe sparkle, or they do. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. It looks like it is, so the shoes have a nice sparkle to them. There was some issue with this guy because it seemed like he, excuse that, out of focus. It seems like we were expecting to have multiple phrases said by the character, but all we got is this. Which was actually, not that I'm trying to excuse that, but I was wanting that more than anything, that laugh. So I don't know what happened as far as sounds go with this figure, but that is all that comes with the sounds for Billy the Puppet. Overall, though, I think the look of this guy is great. They did a really good job. I enjoy this one. So the Mezco Billy the Puppet was a must-have for me, as I love the Saw franchise. Let's look next at Jason Voorhees. Okay guys, here is the Jason Voorhees. Now I believe this was the first one put out, if not the second one. Maybe Sam beat him to the punch. Now I did pick up this Jason Voorhees at my FYE, which is now out of business. So that's a shame, but you know, I can still get these. It's not a matter of, you know, not being able to get them. It's just I'll be ordering them. The same thing, you know, the articulation's good on the arms. Excuse me, I have to do this with one hand. Arms move any which way. You can move the head. I know it's a little difficult with one hand, but you can move the head. This one stands up probably the best out of the rest of them. He's just very easy to stand up. Not that any of them really I have trouble standing them up, but this one just seems to do a pretty good job on standing up just straight out of the packaging. Let's get a closer look at the sculpt of the head. Not a lot of complaints. See, we do have the droopy eye. Unfortunately, you know, one of the eyes is supposed to be blue because it seems like when things are just licensed as Friday the 13th, you'll see a lot of a Part 3 look to these characters. So, mask is not removable. And unfortunately, the battery for my Jason is dead, and they're very expensive, so I have not changed out the battery yet. There are other videos where you can hear the noises he makes. He makes some cool sounds, so I do apologize about that. So unfortunately, I can't show you the way he sounds today. But if you follow me on Instagram, sooner rather than later, I'll get a new battery put out for Jason. You'll be able to hear what he says. But there are multiple videos on there. This is really for me to show the figures off, as I think it's a great line. So yeah, the Jason Voorhees is another great one to own. Let's look next at Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Okay, guys, now we're looking at the 2017 Stephen King's It, Pennywise the Clown. This one is based off of Part 1. Right off the bat, I think the design on this one is really good. The clothes are really nice. You see he's got his pants, and he's got the little clown deals on his shoes. Really cool looking figure. Now, let's look at the face sculpt. I thought they did a pretty good job on this one as well. I think he looks pretty good. Hair looks pretty good. I gotta say, the hair looks pretty good on him. Again, you've got, you know, movement in the arms, whichever way you want to pose him. And excuse that, out of focus. And the only problem with this one is it does not sound like they could get Bill Skarsgård to use the voicings or get the license. So here's how he sounds.
Well, I'm Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Popcorn, is that your favorite?
Most of these aren't bad, but one of them is pretty cringy. We'll find it.
Can you smell the circus? You look like a nice boy.
Should
You
be
have a lot of friends.
should be the next one.
You'll float too.
Here it is.
You'll float too. 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 You'll float too.
That one's a little cringy.
Well, I'm Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
So, you know, unfortunately, it does not sound like they were able to use sound bites from the movie. Not a deal breaker for me because they're great display pieces. The thing I've always said when I do these videos on these figures is they look very good out of the box. In the box, they give off this weird look to them, to the figures themselves. But when you get these out, they actually look really good. So let's look at our last one we have, which is Sam from the movie Trick or Treat. Okay, guys, so here is our Sam Mezco Mega Scale from Mezco. And I don't keep the bag over the head because it simply is an injustice to this figure, because Sam without the bag just looks incredible. As you can see, he sports his attire, his little suit, his little orange suit. His hand has his removable lollipop, which is just very, very nice. It's a very nice touch. The face sculpt is an absolute 10 out of 10. I think this is probably the best face sculpt they've done out of all of them. I just think it looks amazing. He's got his, like I said, unfortunately, this one does not say anything. I know that the character really didn't have much to say to begin with, but this was also the first of this line, if memory serves. So I'm not surprised. Maybe they thought to add that feature on the latter releases. So unfortunately, this one does not make any sound, but I gotta say that he is an absolute gem to have. I love this one. He is very unique and very colorful and a good looking. It's a good way to start that series, because he's the perfect way to introduce it, because he is it feels right because of the character who was a small guy. So I really liked this Mezco Megascale line. So I think it's a great line, guys. That's the last one I have for now, but obviously as the Leatherface comes out and also the Child's Play 2, I will definitely be picking those up, and I'll be sure to look at those as well individually. But I just thought it'd be nice to actually show my collection and let you guys see what these look like outside of the boxes and what they can do. And I do highly recommend them. They're not the cheapest things in the world. They're $70 to $80. but I feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck. You know, I'm more of a fan of paying that price and getting something larger, as you can see, as opposed to paying, you know, 150 for something for a 1/6 scale figure that just looks really good too, because while they look really great, they're just smaller. So I like to get more bang for my buck. That's just a personal preference. Not that I think anything is wrong with those mega scales. I know Trick or Treat has just announced they're doing a whole line of Michaels, which I probably will get one of them. I can't decide if I want the Halloween 5 or if I want the Halloween 6 yet. They both look really good, but we'll cross that bridge at a later date. But I wanted to show you guys my collection of these. I think they're really great. So thank you guys for watching. Please let me know what your favorite one is out of this collection, and please be sure to sub to the channel if you are new and you found this video on a random search. So thank you guys. I love my patrons, and we'll see you guys next time.